Okay, so hello everyone, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Omkar Joshi. I'm course instructor for Python and I will be conducting today's live session, which is a code with us session, a live coding session 2 for week 12. Uh, so for week 12, if you see there are 16 problems, right? So we have divided these 16 problems uh, into four different sessions. So that's why there are four sessions, and in each sessions we will be discussing four problems. So in last sessions, I believe instead of four, Krishnan I think he discussed five problems. So today we'll discuss next six. Sorry, next three. I mean, from the sixth one onward. So six, seven, and eight. These three problems we'll discuss tomorrow. And if you have any other doubts or something, we will take those as well. So that's the agenda of today's session. Those three problems and general doubts or queries, whatever you have regarding OPP and term or anything. All right. So shall we start with problem number six? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm talking about PPS 6 of week 12. So we'll do this week's PPS 6, 7, and 8 now. So let's start with 6. Let's read the problem. Accept a string of lowercase letters from the user and encrypt it using the following image, right? So what we are supposed to do is, I think smaller is better. Yeah. So it's just a simple string, and every character in that string has to be replaced with a different character, as in the encrypted character. So every A has supposed to be replaced by Z, B is supposed to be replaced by Y, and vice versa. So if there is a Z, we replace it with A. So A becomes Z, Z becomes A, B becomes Y, Y becomes B. That is how this encryption is supposed to be. It's very basic encryption, but that is how we are supposed to convert or translate the input string. So that is what the question is. Let's first look at some test cases. So it says the input is apply. So your A becomes Z followed by PP. So if you check here, P is mapped against K. So PP became KK and LY is OB, right? So because L is O and Y is B. So that's the expected output. So it's a simple string. There will be a string input of this nature, and this is the output. So it's that simple. So that is what we will try to code using Python. All right. Any doubts in the this question statement or this particular question? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. So if no doubts, then can you suggest some some method, some approach in order to solve this? Of course, I
Sir,
will explain the approach, and I
sir,
will also code. But
I'm trying to solve this question by ORD function, sir.
okay, is it required to do it with ORD? Can't we do it without ORD by simple string processing?
Yes, sir, we can do, sir.
Right, that will be easier, right? It's a simple string manipulation. That's what we are supposed to do. Simply replace A by Z, Z by A, and so on. So I don't think the ORD function is required. I mean, you don't have to go to ASCII values and do the conversion at that level. It's a simple calculation, and it's a simple, computation at a string level. So I think string processing is better. Uh, any other thoughts? Any other suggestions? Any other different approach you might have?
Using dictionary.
Okay, yeah, using dictionary is one approach, right? So what you are saying is we will have to, but then manually we'll have to generate this particular dictionary, right? Mapping of A to Z or Z to A and vice versa, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So again, that's also a good approach using dictionary, and it will be easy, right? But yeah, I mean, you can use that. But the way I am thinking, we might not even require dictionary, because see, okay, dictionary is good, but the point is, anyway, input will be a string and output will be a string, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So
Yes.
if both are string, why can't we stick to string and find some solution? Of course, the dictionary is a good option and it will be efficient, I agree. But if we can avoid that, then I think we should do that, because this is something which can be done without even going towards dictionary. We can create a simple string of alphabets A to Z and maybe do some manipulation over that. Can you come up with some uh, uh, you know some idea around that? A simple string of letters A to Z in alphabetical order: A, B, C, D, E, A, E, F, G, H up to X, Y, Z. So all 26 letters in a string, in a single string, and then use this string to manipulate the original input. Can you think of
Yes,
some approach like this?
yes, sir. I've done that. Done using that.
Okay, can you tell me
See,
what you have done, Devanshi?
yes, sir. It's like somewhat similar to Caesar cipher.
Mm-hmm.
So I declared a string first, alpha, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G till Z,
Okay.
and then I'm declaring new variable in which I'm storing an empty string,
Okay.
and then I'm like looping over the iterating over the characters in the input.
Correct.
And if it is an alpha, what I'm doing, I am deducing the index of that character,
Okay.
and then I am concatenating this index. I'm going like minus I of minus 1
Mhm.
to this new string, and it's giving me the output.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
paste it in the chat box.
No need to
Okay,
paste.
okay.
But my question is, this is fine. You said you're doing my minus, right? But how
Yes,
you are
yes.
mapping Z to A? This is how you will map A to Z. How Z
So,
will be mapped to A?
okay, so like if, okay, I am taking a string A to Z, right? A, B, C, D in the same order as
Mhm.
the alphabets are in the English, right?
Correct.
And when I am deducing, suppose the character in S input is A,
Mhm.
right? Now I'm taking out the index of A first. So the index of A is 0.
Correct.
And if I do minus, then I am assigning it to a variable. So my first time my I is 0.
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing, since I stored the string in alpha, so I'm the minus I and minus 1 would be minus 1, because 0 minus 1 would be minus 1.
Okay. Okay. So that's what I was asking. You're supposed to do that -1 at the end, right? That's
Yes,
required.
yes.
That is
So
what I was
Z is
asking.
minus 1, like
Correct.
so I
Correct.
said,
Correct.
yeah.
So yeah, so this is the approach even I was thinking of. So yeah, so Devanshi, I mean, I hope you have completed the code and all test cases are passing, right?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay, so now others, if you have understood, well and good. If not, I am going to explain the same. So let's start and try to code this in the same approach which Devanshi was explaining. In meantime, yeah, Shivani, I think you are asking something in the chat. Five, okay, yeah. So Shivani, in previous live session, first five problems were discussed. So if you check the calendar, there was live coding one session for week 12 on Saturday. I think 19th. Yeah, 19th of this month. So on that,
Okay.
yeah, during that session, first five problems were discussed. So maybe you can refer to the YouTube link over there. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. I will. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So thanks. All right. So let me increase the font size a bit. Okay. So what we are supposed to do is, you are supposed to accept a word, which is from input. This is fine. Now, as I was discussing, we should have that string, right? String of all the alphabets from A to Z, right? In that particular order. So I have already pre-typed it just to waste time, just to avoid wastage of time. So this is my string from A to Z in smaller case, because if you remember it, it clearly mentioned the letters are in lowercase. So we are not considering any special characters, we are not considering any numbers in it, we are not considering any uppercase letters. Everything is a simple lowercase letters, and that's what we will consider as a input over here, and also this letter string, the special string which we have generated over here. Now, okay. Now, for the output, let's create one. I mean, we have to create some encrypted text, right? So, our encrypted text we will produce in this particular variable. Let's say out. Okay. So, word is our original input, and this is supposed to be our output.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. I think his screen is paused. Hello.
Sir, we can't hear you, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, I lost my connection. Can somebody tell me what was the last thing you heard from my end?
Sir, you are output, you are giving the output, sir.
Okay. I was giving this out, and this part. Okay. So now what we are supposed to do is we are simply supposed to iterate over this particular word, a character by
Sir,
character.
your screen is not sharing. You are not sharing your screen, sir.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. The last few days I'm facing some network issue. I don't know, something is going wrong or on this side. So okay, so out is the variable which we will use to produce that encrypted text, right? Which is the encrypted version of original word.
Yes, sir.
And this encryption we are supposed to do character by character, right? And in order to do so, we are supposed to iterate over this particular string. So every character in a word, we are supposed to do some processing. So before processing, it's always better to check whether we are getting the correct word input over here or not. Then while iterating, we are getting every character or not. So as I suggest all the time, it's better to write partial code, run it, and then only proceed further rather than executing it at the end, right? So apply was the input, and we are getting A, P, P, L, Y. All characters are available. So far, this char is the variable. If its values are correct as per our requirement. So now what we are supposed to do is, instead of this char has to be updated with something else, right? So if char is A as per our first character, we are supposed to change it to something, right?
Yes, sir.
And so as in A is supposed to be changed to Z. And this mapping is based on indexes,
Indexing.
right?
Yes.
Indexes. The first letter or the zeroth index should be mapped against the last index. So in order to do this mapping, we should first find what is the index of that character, right? What is the index of that character? That is what we are supposed to find. So let's try to find what is the index. Index of what?
Sir, index of letters.
Index of that this particular character, right?
Yes, sir.
And from where? From this string, right? Because this is the string of all the alphabets. So we will simply use this
Letters
dot index. This is a string method. If you don't know what this method is, maybe later on you can look at this method. What this method is do? It is executed upon a string, and we are supposed to pass some character as a parameter as an argument to this function. So what it returns is it returns the index value of this character. So if the character is A, then it will return 0.
So letter spelling is wrong.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so this is what it will do. Let's try whether that is what is happening. So let's print char comma index,
Yes, sir, index.
and let's try whether we are getting the expected output. And this is what you ideally should do even in OPPs. Okay, keep printing at some intervals in between, so that it will be easier for you to debug your code if you end up with some mistakes. Okay, so A is at 0, P is 15th, P is 15th, L is 11th, Y is 24th. So we are getting the index values correct, as expected. So now once we have this, somehow we have to convert this 0 to Z. I mean, Z as in what is the index of Z?
Minus one.
There are two, yeah, correct. I mean, -1. But in general, right? I mean, in a basic thought process, the first one should be replaced by last one.
Last one.
Right? The second one should be replaced by second from last, right? So as somebody directly gave the answer, I was building towards that. Usually how we give these index values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we go from left to right. But we already know, we have studied this. Python also provides us this, this functionality of indexes in a reverse order as well, which is this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, and so on, right? So actually, I mean, there are 26 letters. So Z is 25th letter, right? If we start 25 is the index of Z. If we start from 0, but we don't have to
26.
do this computation of 25 and all. It's -1. That's more than enough, right? So how this -1 we can derive from 0? That's the question. So the point is, somehow this 0 should become -1. This 2 should become -2.
Yes.
No, not 2, sorry, 1. B is at 1, index 1, right? So 1 should become -2. This is 2, it should become -3.
Index
Okay? That is
minus
yes.
index plus one, sir.
Correct. So that is our purpose, and that's how we will do it. Okay, so if we know this, then we can simply say our, I mean, let's print it before, doing anything different. Okay, along with this index, now let me print this different value, right? Minus index, what we just now discussed, -1. Okay, so index was some value what we had, and now I'm trying to compute the encrypted version of it. Let's try whether we are getting that.
Yes,
See?
sir.
Yeah, 0 is becoming -5, 15 is becoming -16, 15 is -16. Now 15 is P is right. So P is one of the letters towards the end over here. So that's why the 15 and 16 they are close, right? So or even this Y, right? So Y is what? Y is this letter, right? Which is the 25th letter, which is nothing but -25, because A is supposed to be -26, because A, when we start with Z, Z is -1, -2, -3, -4, and likewise we will end up with -26 on A. So B is supposed to be -25. and that is what is there. That means it looks correct. Now let's do the final, let's write the final line.
Sir, we can
And
write
check.
also minus index plus 1 also, right? Whole, I mean, under bracket.
What you are saying? Okay, minus index minus 1
No, no.
plus 1.
Minus is outside the bracket, and then bracket.
Ah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
index
yeah.
plus 1.
That is, I mean, mathematically just the different variation of it, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So either ways is should work. So now what we are supposed to do is we
Out
are supposed to,
plus equal to.
yeah, we are supposed to build this particular string, right? Character by character. So originally, whatever the out is initially, it's blank, but every character we have to append to it, right? So we are appending what? We are appending this part.
Letters. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. We are appending this part.
Hmm.
So similarly, like this, we can access a particular character using index.
Yes.
Which index? This index.
Hmm.
So we can write the same format from line 5.
Letter and square letters, square bracket,
Letters.
square bracket, that index.
Correct. So in that letter string, we want this specific index.
Hmm.
What index?
The index given, letter given.
The index which we just now computed. This one.
Yes.
This very index. Okay.
Hmm.
So now let me comment this out. And now everything is, assuming everything is right,
Hmm.
let me print my output also.
Out.
Okay.
Yes.
And now let's see whether we are getting the expected output.
Yes, we are getting, sir.
Okay, so 2 of the 2 test cases pass. So at least public test cases are fine. Let's check the private test cases. And they are also fine, right? So that's our final code. This line is now, we can remove it. You can keep it, whatever. But that's the final code which we can write without using ORD function or without using dictionaries and so on. Of course, both those methods are valid, and if you have implemented any of those, it's good. There is nothing wrong in it. Of course, you can use different methods to solve same problem. But in my opinion, at least, this is the most simplest one, where you just have to do basic string processing. Nothing fancy with ORD or I mean dictionary, and no additional data structure, because generally dictionary is heavy as compared to string with respect to memory, because it's just 26 characters, right? Over there it won't be that straightforward. So in my opinion, this is better, but if you feel some other approach suits you better, you can always use that.
Sir, yeah, I have just added one line, but you have finished in one line. I mean, I have added one extra line.
Okay.
You have finished in one line. That out plus letter index. You have completed in one line.
Yeah, you got the character separately in one line, and maybe you appended that.
Yes,
in the
appended,
second.
yeah.
That's also fine. Okay. Any
Sir, hello,
doubt
sir.
in this question? Yes, Suyash.
Sir, I have done using character and ORD function. So can you please check my code?
Yeah, I mean, is it passing all test cases?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then it's fine. If you're struggling somewhere, then maybe we can discuss it. If you have already found the solution, that's well and good. Maybe
So,
you can
sir,
share
can
it in
I
the
use,
chat
sir?
so that, yeah, so Suyash, maybe you can share it in the chat so that others can have a look at it, okay? Maybe a different version they can also see.
So
Yeah,
I have
okay.
shared that.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. So this is the another version. I mean, if you are comfortable with it, you can use it. But see, the only problem over here is you have to remember what is the ASCII value of a character, right? That 122 and 97 are coming from
So
there.
yes, sir. So Z is the value of 122 is Z, sir.
Yeah, so that's what. So you have to memorize this in order to use that as part of your solution. So if you have already
Yes.
know this, then it's good. If not, I mean, without any prior knowledge of ASCII values, you can always do it with strings or dictionaries. And that's why, as I said, it's my personal opinion, better to avoid this, because you have to remember all these ASCII values and all that, which is actually not necessary. I mean, of course, you can print some random numbers and check whether it's the assumption is correct or not. But yeah, this approach is also, it should work.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and then you have created a list out of it, right? And then printed using join.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, sure. Again, I mean, why that one improvement you can do, right? Why you required list? You can build a string also, right? Just like what we have done here in line 6.
Yes, sir. So I was familiar of the join function. I used a
Okay,
lot. Okay,
okay,
that's
okay.
why I have used many times.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. Usually, I mean, what during live sessions, what we try to do is try to implement using bare minimum things, right? Rather than introducing something new. I mean, of course, everyone should know this, but it's something, I mean, we try to demonstrate some solution with very bare minimum basic programming knowledge, right? And that's why usually we avoid join and ORD and so on.
Okay, sir.
I mean, what professor says all the time, right? Try to code with, from the basics. I mean, he used some specific phrase I forgot, but from first principle, right? From first principle, yes. So that's what we try to do it during sessions. All right. So, any doubts with the this code? These 7 lines of code.
So in the line of 6,
No, sir.
Okay, sure. Yes, Shivani, you are saying something.
in 6 to 9, I don't understand why use minus index.
Minus index or -1?
Minus index.
Okay, minus index. Okay. So, Shivani, if you observe this, right, what is the index of B?
1.
1. And what is the encrypted value of B?
Y.
Y. What is the index of Y?
-2.
-2, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Okay, okay.
your
-2,
1 should be
-1.
translated to -2.
Okay, okay, okay.
That's why this
Okay,
one will do the negation and then -1 part of it.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right. So if everybody is comfortable with this, shall we move to next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's look at PPS 7 now. Okay. Oh, there is some code available. Maybe I don't know whether that's right or wrong. So we will start from fresh. I don't know uh, who wrote it earlier and so on. But anyways, so what we have is a clockwise rotation of a list. Okay. Consisting, okay, sorry, let me read it. A clockwise rotation of a list consisting of taking the last element and moving it to the beginning of the list. Okay, so it's just a simple rotation of one element at a time, right? So one rotation means one moving of one element. So for instance, if we rotate the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get 5 at the beginning followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is one clockwise rotation means? One clockwise rotation means remove the last element and insert it at the beginning. So this is what the one clockwise rotation indicates. Okay. What if we do another clockwise rotation? That means 2 clockwise rotation. That means same thing again. Remove 4 from here and insert it at the beginning of the list. So 4, 5 followed by 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Okay, I think I lost connection again. I'm really sorry. Today there might be few instances when this might happen. There is some network issue. Okay, so what was the last thing you guys heard?
Sir, you are dictating the question, sir.
Question only, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So anyway, so that's the question. Well, what we are supposed to do is now is our input is a if you observe, right, it's a string of values, I mean comma separated values. Output is also comma separated values, but this the processing what we are supposed to do is over a list, right? So somehow we have to convert this input into a list, do this clockwise rotation for whatever k number of times it's given, 3, 10, 300, whatever, and again translate that list into a comma separated string and print that output. That is what is expected. Okay, any doubts in the question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so if nobody has a doubt in the question itself, can you suggest some solutions to this? Anyone in any approach which you might take in order to solve this?
So for I in range of the rotation, sir, number of rotation,
Uh-huh.
sir, making the output list and then appending the last element of the existing list to the new list.
So you are saying every time we will create a new list.
So I haven't done this problem. That's so I
So
am
that's fine. I
telling
mean,
only
see,
the approach.
whatever you are saying might be right, might be wrong, doesn't matter. We are just simply discussing. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
what you are saying is for every rotation we will create a new list, right? That's what you are suggesting.
Uh, yes, sir. But I think this approach is going to be wrong, sir.
Yeah, that will not work because what if there are 3 rotations in this case, for instance, right?
So, can I
Yes.
suggest?
Yeah, so we cannot continue to generate 3 different variables for three rotations, right? What if there are 300 rotations, 3000 rotations? It may not work, right? So maybe we have to find a better approach. Yeah, somebody was trying to suggest some different approach.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
we can do recursive way using
Okay.
a for loop. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did, we accept the input as a list,
Mm-hmm.
and then we are accepting k, the number of rotations.
Okay.
Now, in the range of rotations,
Mm-hmm.
what I do, I take the last element of the list
Okay.
and I like enclose it in within square brackets and add it concatenated with rest of the list.
Right.
And it keeps happening in the range of the number of times we have to rotate.
Okay.
And we just print the output separated by commas.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So that should work. And how you have computed the rest that list?
So the output,
No, the rest list. I mean, list without last element. You're supposed to remove last element and put it at the
yes.
beginning, right?
So I use slicing like L
Okay.
list and then square brackets colon -1. So it doesn't include the last element because I have included it in the beginning.
Okay. Okay, sure, fine. So
I did the same way, sir. Even I did the same way, sir.
okay, Vishwajit, you also implemented using recursion, right?
Yeah,
The same method.
yes.
Okay, okay, fine. Any other approach? Anyone, any thoughts? See, you might be right, you might be wrong, doesn't matter. That's not important over here. Okay, just new approaches should come from your side. So this particular approach discussed by Devanshi and then Vishwajit, it's correct. It might be a bit tricky. I mean, if you're not confident enough with recursion, then you might find it a bit complicated. But yeah, the approach is solid and it should work. Yeah, Shivani, you're saying something?
So we can take a list, then empty list as
Okay.
input. Then we can k as an integer, in which gives the rotation count.
Okay, yeah.
And then by using for loop in range of k,
Okay.
we first remove the last element of list and then append this last element to the empty to the list of L, which is create first.
But
And then
that will have same issue, right? What we discussed earlier, as somebody else was pointing out. I mean, if we generate a new list, then don't you think it will not work every time? I mean, there are multiple times the same loop will execute, right? Every time it will start from a fresh empty list. That's not the right approach, no?
Okay.
I mean,
Sir,
when
I'm
we do
getting another
second,
approach.
yeah, so let me just quickly finish this. So when we do second rotation, our output of first rotation becomes an input for second rotation, right? That is bit tricky to manage when we create a new empty list. Okay, so you are getting my point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that may not be a good option. Yes, Yash.
Sir, in the second test case, sir, sir, the length of the string is 6, sir, and the total number of rotation is 10, sir.
Yes.
So after rotating sir 6 times, the list becomes sir in the descending order, sir. And
Are you
if we
sure?
do
Are you sure descending order?
6,
You're on the
5,
right track. You're on right track, but this conclusion is wrong. Can you think
sir,
again? What will happen after 6 rotations?
6, 6, then 1. No, sir, no, sir, no, sir, sorry. Sir, I'm thinking in the way of sir, modulo, sir.
Correct. So that's why I said you are on right track. But after 6 rotation, you will get the original list, not the list in the reverse order. It will be original list, original sequence.
Yes, sir. And getting
Okay.
sir 4
Sir,
as a
I
reminder,
solved
sir.
in a way just using a while loop and string.
Okay.
I took the last one first.
Hmm.
Then I sliced off the last digit. And like a string reversing, I just appended it to the first one.
Okay.
Like then I just incremented the while counter and just finally I joined the sentence using comma.
Okay.
I got the output. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, that is okay. Okay. That is, I mean, you're using join and using string processing is also fine.
Yes, I
But-
use split and join. Inside I just use a while loop with four sentences. Like first taking the last digit, then slicing the last digit, and I just stored the last in another string, and I just appended to the initial part of the string, and I incremented the while counter.
Okay. Can you share your code?
Yes, sir.
Just paste it in chat box. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So what Suyash was saying, right? Anyone got idea what he was saying?
Say, okay, it's like if we are using modulo, like we declare a variable k modulo len of else. So 2 times rotation, and then we are iterating in the range of that.
Correct. So it reduces the effort, right? It reduces the computation.
Yeah, I mean
So,
it's
yeah.
same like recursion, right? So
Yeah, I mean, see, recursion is just a different implementation. What I am saying is, even with recursion, right? What happens in the second test case? You do your processing 10 times, correct?
yes.
Whatever you do, taking out the last element and appending at the beginning. That is our approach, right? That's our process. How you do it, it's different. Either you do it string processing the way this girl did, or the way you did with recursion, or maybe some other approach. That's not the point. The point is you remove last element and append at the beginning, correct?
Yes.
For 10 times.
Yes. So I
What?
think if the like range is beyond 100, it will not work for a very large list or something like that.
Yes. If number is huge, then recursion approach may fail.
Yes. Okay.
Because there is some recursion limit, right? Which you should know, right? I mean, it's part of the lecture. So,
Yes.
okay. But we don't have to do that. The point is, this entire process, what Suyash was saying, right? That's very important over here, is because we don't have to do it 10 times. No matter whether it's with recursion, without recursion, list or string, doesn't matter. The point is we don't have to do it 10 times. Why? Because if there are 6 numbers in the sequence, right? If there are 6 numbers, after 6 rotations, we get the original list.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So if there are 10 rotations, we can actually do only 4 rotations.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's
Right?
why he was using modulo.
That's why modulo operator is important. If I say there are 100 rotations, do I really have to do 100 rotations?
No.
No, right? I
No,
can do
sir.
100 mod 6. 6 as in length of the list, right? Length of the
Yeah.
sequence. That's what the 6 came from. Whatever result is, those many rotations are required. All the rotations before that are anyway useless, right?
Yes.
So with this approach, we can optimize our code. Whatever approach you have implemented, doesn't matter. You don't have to do it k times. That's my point.
Okay.
You have to do it for k modulo length of the input times.
Okay. Yes. So because like in the range of the length of list, the original list will come out.
Yeah, anyway, original list will come up and you will again start processing from, I mean, it will look like the first rotation itself, right? When you do the 7th rotation in this case,
Yes.
right? So this is where you can actually optimize your code.
Yes.
Is everyone is getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that's what I said. What he was saying, Suyash was saying was right. I mean, that's the most ideal way to implement this. Then we can either go with this Smriti's way with strings, or your way of recursion, and so on. Right? I have even a Okay, so I'm back online. I'm really sorry for these all intermediate troubles, some continuous troubles, but yeah, I can't help it. I'm really sorry. So where I was, okay. So what I was saying is that approach, that approach of taking modulo is very important. Then afterwards, we can do these rotations using either of the approaches like recursion or this string processing, which somebody shared, like in Smriti shared it earlier. But I mean, these are two approaches. I was thinking about even a different approach. So as these two approaches we have discussed, now let me discuss even a different approach, a third approach, right? So what I was thinking is, let's not do any of these stuffs like recursion or this splitting or join, nothing of that nature. Do not even rotate the string in the first place. That's what I was thinking about. Anyway, what you want. When we say 3 rotations, just print last 3 numbers. Right? When I say I want 3 rotations, I want to print last 3 numbers, followed by the rest of the numbers. When I say 10 rotations means what? I mean, after taking modulo operator, 10 rotations in this case becomes what? Their length is 6. This is 10. So these are nothing but 4 rotations. So if there are 4 rotations, I simply print last 4 numbers, followed by whatever is remaining. Right? So last 4 numbers is what? 3, 4, 5, 6. Just print those, followed by remaining whatever is there. Right? That is what I was thinking about. I mean, none of the approaches are wrong, but as I said, let's discuss whatever the approaches are there. So that was my approach, right? Just take the modulo value, whatever result is, and just print those many numbers from the end, and then print the rest. That's it. That is what actually the rotation is all about, right? So let me try to code this out. If there is a doubt, we can discuss it. If you're not happy with it, we can always go with your approach and try to code that as well. All right. So should I start? Have you understood what
Yes,
I was
sir.
saying? What
Yes,
I was
sir.
saying? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me start. First, of course, you will require a list for it. So I hope you know this particular function, list of eval. It will compute whatever our input is in a form of a list. Okay. So let me quickly print it and show you how it will look like. It's just a small in a single line. You can compute a list out of this comma separated numbers, right? That's all, nothing else. So it just this 1 2 3 4 5 sequence is converted to a list. That is what this list eval will do. Okay, it will evaluate our input in and then it will convert it into a list in a variable L. Okay. So that's, I mean, you can do it even without that using split function and so on. But split is something which you have studied and used many times. So that's something you're already comfortable. So that maybe I will show you something new. I mean, many of you might even know this, but if not, then this is the a short way of converting that comma separated numbers into a list. Okay. So I have this list, and after that, what else I want? I am supposed to accept that particular this thing, number of rotations, the value of k, right? So my int of input is that k. Okay. So inputs all sorted. Now, as we were discussing, we have to actually compute how many rotations are required, right? So we can maybe some variable called rotate. And here what we are supposed to do,
So
we
K
can take that K mod
yeah, L.
length of L, right? So
Yes.
actually these many number of rotations are required, as we were discussing with that second test case, right? 10 rotations are actually not required. 10, so 10 mod 6 as in length of this. So that's 4, and 4 rotations are sufficient. So we can reduce some processing time over there. So that's what we did. Now after this, let me reduce it so that we can observe this test cases while coding. Now after this, let's consider this test case only, okay, so that it will be even more complicated as compared to this one. So I now I know that my rotate value is 4. Just maybe we can print and check whether we are getting what we wanted, so that it's also in front of us while writing the code. So okay, so 4 rotations are required. That's what this output is. With 3 rotations, this is the output. So let's consider this one, the 4th rotation. Okay. Now, when I say 4th rotation, that means what? My interpretation, what I was saying, right? 4 rotation means print last 4 numbers. That's all. Okay. Rest will come to that. But first, print last 4 numbers. Okay. How to print last 4 numbers?
Sir, we can take an empty list.
No, I mean, I just want to print, right? I don't want to even create a list. That's what I'm saying. Why to create a list? I just want to print it. Print it. Them.
For I in the list, I in L, and then we slice it by. So we can take L itself, the list, capital L.
I in a range, right?
And then we slice it len of L minus rote and colon, and then we print I.
Okay, so I mean, better to just create a range out of it, no? Whatever you said.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
I mean, whatever you said with respect to slicing, right?
Yes.
The problem with slicing is we might end up modifying the original list.
Okay.
Right? I don't want to modify the list. Original list, just let it be like that. I just want to print the last 4 numbers out of it. So a range I have to create from what? I need last 4. What does that mean?
That means from 6, sir. I mean minus 1.
From
minus
this
6,
number, right? From
Yeah.
this number.
Yes, sir.
So this is what? This is what?
Yes,
0,
sir.
1,
LF2.
2 at second index, right? Second index.
Yes, sir.
From where I will know that this is the second index. That's what my range should start from somewhere, right? What do you mean by last 4 numbers? Yeah, last 4 numbers means what? The length minus this, right? Minus rotate.
Yes, sir.
What is length? What is length is 6. Minus 4. What is that? That's 2, right? That's my index. So my starting point is length of L
Minus rod.
minus rotate.
Yes.
That's my starting point. And and as I said, I want last 4 numbers. So what is my end point?
Minus 1. Oh.
No, it's length of L, right?
Yeah.
Length of L, right? Let's try to print it. If it's not correct, we can adjust the range always. So that's why I said keep printing in between. Now this is for sure, we can remove it. And then this is my L of I. Okay. Let's print and see whether we are getting what we wanted. If not, we can always, adjust it a little bit. Okay. So as I was saying, I want last 4 numbers. I got 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct? Over even in this case, when I said 3 rotations, I want last 3 numbers. I got 3, 4, 5. How I computed it? Total length minus rotations, because that will give us the starting point for the range. And now, I mean, of course, I want to print them with comma separated, so I can just do some change here and use that end comma. So this should at least.
So one question, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, for I in range, we are taking total length. We are deducting rotation from it. But sir, why you have taken the length L also? Last, yeah, this one.
You required an endpoint, no?
Oh,
Range function requires two parameters, right? The starting index and the ending index. I will start from index 2 till index 6.
Yeah, got it, sir.
Right? If I remove this part, it will run from 0, 1, 2. This will become my endpoint, right? I don't want that. I want that to be a starting point and this one to be endpoint. This is like range 2,6. That is what it is. Range 2,6. Okay. And now I want to print them with comma separated, so simply added this end part. Yeah. So this part is sorted with this simple loop. The only thing I have to figure out is how to print remaining numbers. Right. So I printed this.
That means
now
0,
the remaining
right?
numbers, the initial numbers, from 0 to some point.
1,
right?
1.
So that again I have to, maybe I will write another for loop.
For I in range.
For I in range.
Or we can
now
take
I have to start from 0.
Yes.
Right? So
That
I
means
don't have to worry about the starting point. By default, it will be. Now I only have to worry about the end point. What will be my
Same
end
thing,
point?
len of L minus rot.
Correct. It will be length of L. Sorry. Length of L minus this rotate. Is it sufficient?
No, sir.
Yes.
No. Okay. If somebody says yes, somebody says no, let's print it. Let's figure out what the case is. Okay. This part is already there. Beyond that, now I'm just printing it on a new line just to differentiate it. Okay. What is happening? I mean, it is printing this one. Maybe I'll just to make sure it's a fresh start. We'll put a just blank print there, so that every time we start on a new line. Okay. So what this second loop is printing? It is printing 1 and 2, right?
Yes.
It is printing 1 and 2, and that's what we wanted, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So if that works, we can simply do that same process of end is equal to comma. This part we can remove, and this should work, right?
So, but it will give comma at the end as well.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a small adjustment we have to do, right? Now if you look at the code, it's I mean, hey guys, somebody is on. Can you put yourself on mute? Suyash, it's on your end. Somebody's talking. Okay, so it's a small adjustment. If you see expected output, actual output, it matches except that additional comma at the end, right? This is something which you have encountered n number of times in week 2, week 3, and so on, right? So that is something you know how to do it. Just simply reduce it by 1 and then do a separate print over here.
That's what I wanted to say, sir. We have
but
-1.
Yeah. I mean, what you are saying is correct, and I mean, I realized it at that point itself, but I thought it's better to demonstrate it, right? So, okay.
Yes, sir.
What happened? Yeah. So both test cases pass. Now check with this one also. Private test cases, yeah, and they are also fine. So that's a different approach. I'm not saying this is the best approach or anything. The way I see it, it's more simplistic after looking at the output. At least that's my opinion. You can have your own approach, either using recursion, using basic string processing, using split and then join and so on. But whichever approach you follow, make sure you do this. Okay, this line is very important and it will optimize your code. So don't forget to implement this modulo operator and reduce the number of rotations. So if you do this, rest you can follow any approach. All right. Okay. Any doubts in this code or any code in general with respect to this question? If not, we can move to next one.
Sir, I have written my code, sir.
Yes, Suyash. Yeah, tell me.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my public test cases is passing, sir, but none of the private test cases passing, sir.
Okay, can
May I
you
share
share
my
your
code?
code? Yeah. Post it in the chat. Let me have a look at it. Oh my God, it's too lengthy. Yeah? I'm simply copy paste. Let's see first what is happening. Okay, so 2 of 2 pass, but with private there is a problem. Okay.
Sir, colon, sir.
Where?
Line number 13.
Line number 13. Yeah, colon is there.
So it is fine, sir.
He's using slicing. Right?
Yeah, slicing.
Yeah, he's using slicing. He's using split, slicing, join, everything. So,
Sir, I have created two sir, cases. One is when the number of rotation is odd, sir, and one the rotation is even.
and
And then created, sir, this so two variable x and y. Sir, the x is denoting the last four in the test case one, the last three numbers, and the y is the first two numbers, sir. And then I am joining these two lists, and by using join, I have created a string, sir.
okay. So you created that length is your show rotations. Okay.
Sir,
Now I will tell you the problem is. See,
N mod, he has written, sir, N mod len, but he has taken here L, sir.
where? So
Let
S
me-
is the list, right? It should be
Creating a
same.
new list L. Viswari, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, he's creating a new list. That was unnecessary, but anyway, there are two lists now, right? S and L. Is mod 2. We say why this mod 2 how this is different?
N
So line number 8.
No, I mean this mod 2 why you're okay. This is for that even and odd rotations you are counting, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. For
Yes,
for
sir.
the odd number of rotation, and this is for.
Sir, in line number 4, A is equal to N mod len of S, it should be, sir.
No, he's storing.
No, len is already length.
No,
of
sir,
S.
it is fine, sir.
So len variable is already storing the length of S. No, looks fine. So none of the private test cases are passing.
I have. Yes, sir.
You getting any error or anything? No, just 0. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hold on. Luckily, I have access. So let me see some private test case and then we'll see. Okay. So your input is this, right? Split over comma. This is one of the private test case, okay?
Okay, sir.
And why I'm just inserting some hard-coded values and just to observe what actual output you get. Okay, so your output is 120, 50. 120 is not even in the list, no? No, it's there. 150, 50, 10, 20, 34, 11. 20, 34, 11. Okay. So with 1000 rotations, the initial number should, there are 1000 rotations, right? So, and there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers are there. Right, there are 7 numbers, so that means resultant is 6 rotations. So if 6 rotations, that means your list should start from 30. It's starting from 120. So something is wrong with these ranges. I don't know how you're computing.
Yes, sir. It's. I think he adjusted according to the public.
Yeah. These are adjusted according to the private, these public test cases. These are not generic, adjusted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
if you want to use, yeah.
So consider, it's a practice assignment, so no problem. I'll just give you this particular input in chat window. Try to write a code which passes for this this as well. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you are these slicings what you have done over here, right? Line number 9, 10, and then 13, 14. That is where the issue is. I mean, they are working for specific test cases, not for the generic test cases.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Okay,
just
sir.
try to.
I will try to fix it using this extra
sure.
test
Yeah,
case. Sir.
For this particular test case, try to do it. Okay.
Sir, where were the
Okay.
mistakes?
Thank you, sir.
The mistakes is in slicing.
Oh,
the slicing range, the slicing ranges are not accurate.
Okay.
So they are working for those specific test cases, not for all. Okay. Anyways, okay. Any other doubts, or shall we move to next question? All right. So 8th one. This is today's last question. If time is there, maybe we can think of something else. But as per the original plan, it is the last question. Okay. So consider the problem of.
So we can't hear you, sir. Hello?
I think sir lost connection again.
Okay. I thought I lost my connection.
Did anyone try problem 10th?
Which one? Problem 10?
Yeah, that join one. Q question.
No, I haven't tried. I have completed till 9th.
Okay.
Okay, so I lost connection again. Okay, so what was the last thing?
So 8th PPA.
Yeah, okay. So 8 PPA is what we are discussing, right? And the problem statement says consider the problem about balanced expression discussed in PPA 5. So this is something we will look at what PPA 5 is and how this is related to this one. But let's first continue to read the statement. We have a balanced expression in a form of a string that has only the flower brackets, these round brackets, okay, that's shown in this particular image. No other type of brackets will be there. And we can recursively define a concept called nesting depth for each pair of opening and closing brackets. Okay. And recursively as in it's a naturally recursive thing, but not necessary that you have to implement a solution using recursion. You can write a solution without recursion and that should work. Okay. I mean, here the word recursion is used in a basic English manner, not in a programming manner. So we are not asking you to write a recursive solution. We are just saying that it's a recursive process, right? This nested, depth of brackets, right? That's a nested process. That's all. Because the brackets come inside each other, right? So this is opening followed by another opening, closing, another opening. So this is multiple levels of nesting. That's what this word is there, right? So don't consider it in a nested, in a recursive function manner. That's not the thing. Then the nesting, the nesting depth of a pair that lies within another pair is one more than the nesting depth of the pair. Okay, so maybe a bit complicated. Let me explain it in simpler manner, which is there, which is done using this image. So what we are supposed to do is some input will be given to you like this. It's a balanced string. What is balanced expression? Maybe I will explain that after finishing this. So some input will be given to you as a string like this. We have to find how many depths are there with respect to brackets. When I meant to say depth, let me simply copy this and put it here. Okay, what do you mean by depth? Okay, so when I type this is one depth. I mean one opening bracket followed by one closing bracket. When I X, the letter X is at depth 1. Okay, that is what the depth is. But if I go here, now this X, and maybe I will put Y here. Now Y is at depth 1. Similarly, Z is also at depth 1, but X is at depth 2. Why? Because X is actually enclosed inside two brackets. I mean, two sets of brackets, two opening brackets, two closing brackets, and then only you reach X. But Y is only inside one opening bracket and one closing bracket, right? If you click on Z, same thing. Z is also enclosed in one opening, one closing. If I put maybe A here, A again same thing. A is enclosed in a single pair of brackets, but X is enclosed inside two pairs, right? It's two opening followed by two closing. That is the meaning of word depth. For example, let's consider last string. Okay, now if I put X here, can you tell me how many opening and closing brackets are there? This is something which nullifies itself. So if we remove this now, and maybe this one also, which is not required here. Now X is that enclosed in 3 pairs, right?
Mhm.
So depth of this particular expression is 3. Have you understood the question? Anyone?
Yes,
Anyone has
sir.
a doubt in
Yes,
this?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have to find this depth. How many levels are there? Okay. So for example, if I do something like this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are levels, which is correct. For this, the answer is supposed to be 8. But if I do something like this, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The answer is still 1. Because there are 8 opening brackets, 8 closing brackets. That is correct. But they are not inside each other. So at any point of time over here, the depth is still 1. Okay, because they are not nested. But these are nested. So this X is at 8th level. Right? This is the difference between two for loops and two nested for loops, right? We can always write loops one after the other or loop inside each other. So if they are inside, then only they are nested. And if nested, then only the depth increases. Otherwise, for this, the depth remains 1. I hope this part is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is what we are supposed to, do with respect to this particular code. What we are supposed to do, we are supposed to do some kind of processing over this input and find that depth. Okay, and it's a function, so we don't have to write input statement and print anything. Just accept this expression and return the integer value, whatever it is, whatever we compute. Okay, so that is what the intention is. So if you have understood this, can anybody suggest some solution, whatever is in your mind?
So we
Yeah.
can like maintain some kind of we can maintain a list, like empty list. And what I do, okay, I declare two variables. One is the opening bracket within the string, and one is the closing bracket within the string. Now, iterating over the input, we check if the opening bracket is in the expression,
Okay.
the inputs. So I append it to the list.
Okay.
So every time I come across a opening bracket, I'm appending it to a list.
Okay.
And I'm also at the same time checking the length of the list.
Okay.
And we can maintain another variable, maybe depth, and take it equal to 0, right? And whenever I come across a closing bracket, I remove one of the opening bracket from the end, right?
Okay.
And then we again check the length, and if and we increment the length for this variable depth, right? And if length is greater than this variable depth, we take depth equals to length of this list, and it will give the most the nesting depth, the most nesting depth.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what you are saying is correct, but maybe no need to complicate it that much. There is a easier approach. I mean, what you are saying is correct, but that same thing can be simplified, in a much effective manner. Of course, I will explain that. Let me hear out some other. Yeah.
Can I share my
hello.
code, sir? Actually, it
No,
is getting
Don't
zero.
don't share code directly. I want to hear out some suggestions first. Okay. So Bishwajit, your code is failing or it's working?
Sir, it's failing actually.
Okay, then I'm interested in looking at it. We'll look at it. Okay, definitely. Yeah. So, but I think Sahala, right? Sahala, you are saying something? Sahala, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right. You're trying to suggest some solution earlier, right? You're on mute in case if you're talking. Yeah, now you are. Go ahead. Hello. Sahala. Okay, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, yeah. Now you are also.
I was saying that we can check whether number of times where the first open bracket is given, and then we can check the number of times the closed brackets are there, and we can pair them. If two of them are there, I mean, we can divide it by 2, I think. We can add the number of time the closed brackets are there and number of time the open brackets are there and divided by 2.
But then in this case, right? What you are saying in this case, the answer will be 3, right?
Yes.
Because there are 3 opening and 3 closing, but depth is 2.
I'm not getting the exact answer.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying. That is why initially I took that example. Okay, depth is different and number of opening and closing bracket is different. Just because there is opening bracket and a
Okay.
closing bracket doesn't mean it will increase the depth. It also you have to check is whether it's inside some other bracket or not. If it is independent, it will not increase depth. It will increase depth only if it is inside another pair. Okay, so that inside part is very important. Okay, some other solution.
Okay.
Yeah, some other suggestion from anybody? Okay, Vishwajit, what approach you followed? I mean, don't share this code directly. First, tell me what approach you followed. We'll come to your code later.
Yeah, so first of all, I have taken that integer, sir.
Okay.
Then I have taken the for loop, and then I mean, print that depth, sir, which I have taken defined.
But how you computed that depth? That's my question. What answer you are getting for first test case?
Output, sir, you are talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the output, so that is the reason, sir. I just
Okay.
wanted to share it.
So you are getting error.
Yeah,
error,
I'm
right?
getting error, sir. Syntax.
Okay.
It's showing invalid syntax error, but I didn't find any syntax error, sir.
Okay, fine. So that's something we'll check. Let me first try to code it in I mean, let's look at the correct solution first, then we'll try to fix your code. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So that, I mean, in a recording it will go in a proper flow, right? So let me think about that as well. So let's do this code first, then I will look at your code. Okay. So if nobody has any other approach, let me try to implement something. What Devanshi was saying was right, but maybe some more simplification is possible. So Devanshi, what you were saying was right. Only thing is lists are not actually required.
Okay, sir.
What you are doing is you are appending something into list and removing that when closing bracket comes. Right?
Yeah, kind of like bookkeeping sort of thing.
Yeah, but you always know that no matter what, it is always going to be either opening bracket or closing bracket. There
Yes.
is no third possibility.
Yes, and
Correct?
it's just one type of bracket.
Correct. That too one type of a bracket. Then there is no point in maintaining that information.
Okay.
Okay. You can so ultimately what your list is doing is it's actually you're not interested in the content of the list, but you are interested in the size of a list.
Yes. Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So if your size of a list is only the concern, why you required a list? You can use you can use an integer variable.
Okay, sir.
And increment and decrement whenever you want.
Yes, that can
Correct?
be done. Now I get
Right?
it. Yes.
Yeah. So that's the only change is required in your approach. Otherwise, it will work. I mean, even your approach will work, but this will be better, right?
Yes.
Simplified one. Okay. Yeah. Suyash, you were saying something. I think you were on unmute.
Sir, can we count the opening and close bracket, sir, alongside, sir?
How?
Sir,
It's a string, right?
sir, by s is equal, sir, we can take a variable s and write, sir, s is equal to exp dot count, and then double quotes, and in between, sir, one open and one close bracket, sir.
Okay. So,
and then return s.
But that will not give you the answer, no?
Sir, I'm getting the answer, but sir, it is not the correct approach. It is
It's not.
based on the public test cases.
Yeah, I mean, it might pass few test cases where this is working, but it will not be the right solution for any random test case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I mean, you cannot do this with count. As I said, right, count is important, but it's irrelevant if it is not nested. For example, this string, right? Over here, this string. Now these two brackets, they are absolutely irrelevant. They are there, but they are of no use to us. For example, if I keep copying them 1,000 times, doesn't matter. The actual answer is coming from here, because only this is the place where they are nested. All these are opening closing pairs. They are perfect, but the point is they are not nested. They are not inside each other. And if they are not nested, you're not interested in them, because by default the depth will be 1, right? Unless and until they appear in this kind of a format, in a nested structure, we don't have to worry about them. So with your count, you will get a huge number if there is some string like this. But actually depth of each those pair, that pair of bracket is 1. Okay, so depth of this is 1, this is 1, this is 1, and so on. But this is the only place where depth is 2. And we want max depth.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that also may not work. So let me now try to code something, then maybe we'll come back to discussing it further. Okay, so as I was suggesting it earlier, we can maintain a simple integer variable depth, which we will increment it or decrement it, whatever is required as we go ahead. And we also require the max depth, right? So I also have one max variable. Now what I will do is simply for every character in that expression, I'm iterating on. Now what the point is, every time an opening bracket comes, right? Every time opening bracket comes, there is a possibility of a depth, right? A depth increments when opening bracket comes. But when closing bracket comes, a depth reduces again. Correct? So what I was suggesting earlier. Now why I said in this case depth is 1, because opening bracket came, depth became 1. As soon as closing bracket came, depth again became 0. So that is why at this point, when that x is, the depth is 0. Over here, it was with y, it was 1. Here it became 0. Again, it became 1. It became 0. It became 1. So when there is an opening bracket, depth increments. And when there is a closing bracket, depth decrements. Correct? So that is exactly what we will try to code over here. So if char is equal to opening bracket, sorry, our depth is incremented. Sorry, yeah. And as in else, I mean, you don't have to write because we know there are only 2 possibilities. So in else, depth is decremented. Okay. So this is the general structure, right? Every time opening bracket comes, our depth increments. When there is a closing bracket, that is else, our depth decrements. What we are interested in is max depth. So every time depth increments is the point there is a possibility of new max. So whenever it increments every time, we just simply we should check whether this newly computed depth, okay, this new depth is greater than existing max depth.
Max depth.
If not, sorry, if it is high, then we can update max depth to max depth this particular variable with the current depth. We can return this. And I have written this code much faster as compared to previous questions. So let me execute it. We'll see, and then if you have doubt, I will come to the even more explanation if required. Okay, because I don't think the code wise there is anything. It's simple if and for. So for public it is fine. For private also it is fine. So now let me go back to code, and now tell me if you have any doubts. Anyone who hasn't understood what is happening in this code. The code is very simple. There is no nothing complicated about the conceptually. It's just the logical part might be a bit tricky. So if for me, maybe for someone. So let me know if you haven't understood anything of these 10, 11 lines. Yes, anyone?
Understood, sir.
Sure. Okay. So Devansh, I think this is what you are doing only with
Yes,
list,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. I
So
modified
just
it.
use
It's
that depth variable is doing
what my list was doing.
So we can't hear you, sir.
okay. So I'm back. Okay. So this is the last code which we discussed. Yeah, and I was saying somebody pointed out some different code right earlier with list. Devanshi, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so Devanshi, that depth variable in line 2 is doing your job of list.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And okay, any other doubts in this question? Okay, so I assume no doubts, everyone understood this. Okay, so this is 5:40, another 20 minutes. I
Sir,
don't want
can
to. Yeah, tell me.
can we take a look at question number 10? So I'm facing some issues.
Okay,
Sir,
so
can I share my code, sir?
yeah. But Bishwajit, yes, please share your code. I forgot. Devanshi, I mean, we may not be discussing 10th one today. In next session, we will be discussing 10th one. I mean, we are going
Sir,
in that order, right? So that
I
the recorded one is sorted in particular order. It would be easier, right? So
okay. Sir, but
if you want, I can give you some hints, but
yes,
beyond
I
that,
want hints,
actual,
sir. I am
yeah.
facing issues with the
And that maybe
input
I can
thing.
do towards the end of the session.
Yes,
But
sir.
actual discussion is better to be in a flow, right? So that later on it will be useful, the recording,
Yes,
right?
sir. So I just need
Sure.
some hints.
Yeah, sure. That will do. Let me first look at what Vishwajit has done. What is this? You're you're not supposed to call this first of all. This def function is not there. You have written depth with d small. Vishwajit?
Oh, okay.
So these two lines are anyway not required because internally the function will be called. That hidden code we have written as part of the question. Now we have some invalid syntax is there. That's something you can check. Yeah, what is this? Else if. This is not, this is Python. Not.
Oh.
Yeah, there are some more syntax errors. S is not defined. Y, length of S. What is S? Vishwajit? I think you are talking about expression.
Length of, yeah, expression. Yes.
Yeah. Now public past. Yeah, private also pass. So your code is correct. It looks bit lengthy. I don't know whether that much is required, but yeah, code was correct. Only thing there's some minor errors were there.
I got it,
You
sir.
got it right. What
Yeah.
errors were there?
Yes, sir, I got it, sir. Where I did mistakes.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, thanks. Okay. Okay. So keeping in mind the session purpose and all. So anyone has any doubts with respect to any OPP2, any operational doubts, any queries regarding it, anything related to INTERM or anything? Let me address those queries. Yes, anyone has any doubts, please raise your hand so that I will know. Any doubts, anything you want to know? But yes, Devanshi.
So,
Yeah, that PPA 10 I will discuss.
no, so it's not PPA 10.
Okay. Tell me.
So, this time my OPP was left only. So, do I need to write end term? I don't think so.
Okay, so you're repeating course this time, right? Last
No,
time.
I'm not repeating the entire course. It was only the OPPs were left.
Okay, so last time, last time you cleared everything except OPP, right?
Yes.
No, then in term you don't have to.
But say it's the enter marks are not updated in the portal. So will it be at the end?
Yeah, at the end they will be updated. Right now you're treated along with others, right? So for others, enter marks are not there. So you're treated along with them. Later on, we'll do the separate processing for those who have previous scores.
Okay.
And then we will take best out of 2. So for currently you will get 0 for this term, and then best out of 2 will come. So your previous marks will be replaced by 0. So it's a simple program written internally.
Okay, so it's like I only had to attempt OPPs. That's all, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So I attempted the first one. I have to attempt one more.
Correct. So just like you, there are also other set of people who are repeating only term, who have cleared everything, but their term they were absent or maybe failed or something.
I cleared the end term exam.
No, not you. I'm saying
Okay.
the other batch is also there, right? So for them also, their OPP quiz 1 all scores will come 0 right now, and later on it will get updated with the previous scores.
Okay.
So it's simple program is written internally, which simply takes max out of previous and current. So currently, what is the max? I mean, that program will be executed only when all scores are available. Currently, end term scores are 0 for everywhere. So at the end of the term, before your final grades are computed, your end term score will be updated. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Vanguri. Uday. Yes, Uday. Uday, you are on mute. Okay. Sujay? Yes. Suyash. Sorry, Suyash.
Yes, sir. So in the CodeChef contest, sir. Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
So in the CodeChef contest, sir, there were question which belongs to, I think, sir, DSA part.
Okay.
Like sir, N Queen's problem and many more, sir. So
Okay.
So how can sir we can do that type of question, sir?
Why not? See, it's
Sir, I have tried.
Yeah.
Sir, I have written the code, sir, and the test cases were passing, but the main problem is that of the TLE, sir, time limit exceeded error.
Okay. Because whatever code you have written is not optimized.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why you are getting the TLE error.
Yes, sir.
So that means
I
there
have
is a
used
better
for
approach.
many times, sir.
Yeah.
what does that imply is there is a better approach, or the faster approach is what they are expecting than what you have written.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the only thing there. Apart from that, your code might be right. See, you might see these kind of problems in last 1 or 2 contests, right? Not before that.
Yes, sir. In the 7 and 8, sir. Not
Yeah,
8,
correct.
sir. 8 was pretty easy, sir. In the 7th, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So that's what, right? What is the natural transition from Python? What's the next course you are supposed to do after Python?
So I guess PDSA.
PDSA, right? So we are moving in that direction, and the contests are also in line with that.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, we are not saying they are easy, right? That's why they are optional and kept outside our course. Yeah, there
Yes, sir.
will be some questions which are slightly challenging and so on, which is okay. I mean, I don't see any problem in that. They are meant to be like that. They are intentionally like that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yeah.
So if
And
I want,
don't worry.
so if
I
I
mean,
want to optimize
at
code,
least
sir.
if that is your concern, then let me tell you, don't worry. I mean, in OPP2, you will not see any question like that. That much I can tell you. Okay.
Okay,
I
sir.
mean, in our course, you will see questions based on what we have studied directly in our course.
Yes, sir.
CodeChef contest is different. I mean, they are supposed to be a bit challenging than what we are studying here. So yeah, CodeChef is different, but OPP2 should not have any DSA problem directly like that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So I was failed in the last OPP, sir, in the last term. That's why I am very curious about the this term OPP.
Okay. But even last term, right? There wasn't any question on DSA, right? Even in OPPs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, since he has reached about this CodeChef, sir. So, sir, I mean, as per the guidance, sir, like 10% people will get the certificate, right, sir? Hello. Hello.
I think sir lost connection.
Oh, okay.
Is anybody else is getting this oops something went wrong kind of a message, sir?
Where?
When answering the questions and all, I mean, I got in OPP1.
Yes, we do get some forms.
Yeah.
Just refresh the portal whenever you get search.
Then the code is going on. I mean, a vanishing kind of thing. I need to rewrite the same one again.
Copy it, like every time you do, there's this copy option available on the portal. You can copy there and then just paste it again when you refresh.
All right. Thanks for the great help. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I missed some part in between. I think Uday, you got your answer query resolved, right?
Yes.
There were
correct.
some messages in the chat also, but now as I was lost connection, I lost those messages. If somebody your question in the chat, what you posted earlier, if I missed it, or you can ask it again. Just raise your hand and.
Sir, since he has reached about sir CodeChef contest, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question, sir. So, sir, there are like few people haven't like only 1 week, aside. Code they have submitted, right? And rest few of the weeks they haven't submitted, sir. So, sir, as per the guidelines, that only 10% people of will get the certificate, right, sir?
Right.
So 10% of people, those who total submission or or just only 1 week submission, like there are like 500 people have submitted the assignment, right? Few of them haven't submitted, only one week submit or code they have submitted.
Correct.
But most of they didn't submit. So
Yeah.
if you count them, if you count the person, those who have submitted just like that, few weeks haven't, or total some have submitted all the assignments, sir. So like they will calculate all people of 500 students or only?
Yeah, usually we compute like that. We just take the total unique number of participants. So all those who submitted just one random assignment here and there, they will also be part of that because they have a record, right? So that's how it's computed. So there are 500 plus something, right? So considering top 10%, so top 50 students approximately should get certificate, provided they fulfill the additional criteria of C grade in the course, at least C grade in the course.
Okay.
So that is how we have done it so far, and that's how we will do it. I mean, anyway, more students will get certificates, right? If we do this, if we remove those students who submitted just once or twice assignments, then this 500 number might reduce to even 100 or 150. And then just 10-15 students will get certificates. So it's better to follow that, right? More students will get certificates.
Yeah.
So but that's the approach we'll follow. Now only pending thing is that that eligibility. I mean, you should get at least C grade in the course. That's required.
And sir, about OPP, sir, best best of 2, right, sir?
No, not best of 2. Best of 2 is, I mean, that's for eligibility, right? I mean, you should get at least 40% in one of the OPPs to be eligible to get the final grade. But scoring is a bit different. I mean, both scores will be computed. There is a formula given in the grading document.
Yeah. So there is 2 options given, sir. In one option, it is best. Out of 2, sir, and one formula is given. Both of the OPP will going to be count.
Correct.
So which is best for us? You will take the marks which is best for us, or
yes. Which one is best for you? So that's what it says, that max of those 2. So we'll compute both numbers. Whichever number is higher, we will consider that for you. So for you, it might be considered with one formula. For other one, it might be using second formula. But whatever is best for that student, that will be considered.
Yeah, because sir, OPP1 I have messed up, sir, everything, sir. So that is that.
So you have chance to make it even, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, sir. If I score well in OPP2, then is it going to be compensate or just like that?
Yeah, I mean, then that a different formula will be used, right?
Okay.
I mean, you might score less using one formula, but second formula might give you a better result, and ultimately max of 2 will give you a good result, right? So that's how it goes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sure, thanks. And Uday, I think you are saying something regarding that. Oops, something went wrong. That error appearing, right?
Yes, sir. That is earlier also it has been answered. When the condition is there, naturally it may come kind of thing, sir.
Yeah. Usually it's because of network traffic. So best approach is to simply log out and log in again. That's all. I mean that usually solves the purpose.
So
log
this
out,
happens
refresh.
in OPPs as well.
Yeah, I know. So just log out, refresh the page and log in again. And only thing is immediately inform the proctor that this issue was there. So you had to log out and log in. So that away count, if it increases, you don't have to worry about that.
Sir. The only thing is I'm losing the time kind of thing. That maybe
you might, I mean, you will lose few seconds, no, not more than that.
Right, sir.
But sir, they always pop up the warning sign, sir.
I know. That's why I said whenever you had to, I mean, this pop-up sign will come, the away count will increase for a genuine reason, right? You are not copying at that time. So in such a case, inform proctor immediately. Proctor will keep a note. I'll tell you. I mean, I have done proctoring. I do proctoring. So I'll tell you what we do is whenever some student informs something like this, we keep a note of this along with the timestamp. At what time this happened. I mean, few seconds here and there, few minutes here and there, but approximate time count will be there. And then this is processed against your away count log. And that it is a genuine case, it's for few seconds here and there, we consider it as genuine and we ignore it. I mean, there is a process which is followed, but we check the CR recording also, right? So which shows that it is for you were actually doing this login, log out, and so on, which is okay, and we will not penalize you for that. So that's why I said the important part is to inform proctor. Okay.
Okay, so because that's the reason I messed up, sir, OPP1, because that warning sign and always showing like even like showing error also all the times, like oops and all.
Okay.
That. So that is the reason.
Excuse me, sir, will there be a review session before OPP2? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Soumyadeep, you're not very clear.
Yeah.
I was saying that whether there will be a revision session before the OPP2.
There
No
may be
idea
actually.
so far.
I mean, there may be because we have a 4 session, right? Before OPP2, we have a 4 session. So today, 1 session is, completed. Another 3 session left.
This was live session, coding session, no, live coding session.
Yeah, live coding session. So as per beginning of the class, sir has mentioned that 4 classes will be. They will conduct the 4 classes.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so one today we have finished one, and then we have left 2 more classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Bishwajit, I know. Sorry, I lost some communication in between. So I understand how annoying it will be. I'm also facing the same network issues for last 2-3 days. After every few minutes, I'm losing connection for some reason. So I truly understand how annoying it is when you are doing some important work. So
yeah, sir, because I have like in exam time I use my Wi-Fi device of my house, sir. So sometimes what happens if electricity will go, so some issue will come. That's why I have to buy dongle also, sir.
Okay.
For only this exam purpose.
Yeah, I understand. I don't have any solid solution to this, but I understand.
I'm agree to go and give exam in the in center, sir.
Even we want that, but there is some limitation. The actual problem is the exam partner doesn't support programming exams. We are in touch with them. We are getting it done. So soon this will be a reality that just like your other exams, you will be given programming exams also in the center. But as of now, they don't have that interface, or there are a lot of things back. Technology wise or infrastructure wise, a lot of things are required which are not in place as of now. That is why we are doing this online proctored exams on our portal. It's not the final thing, but as of now there is no alternative. That's why we are running this. So soon this will go away, and you will be giving exams in center without any hassle, just like your other exams, right? Where usually there is no problem with your quizzes and exams.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Soumyadeep.
Yeah, sir. I was saying that I was asking that whether in the OPP2 session, did you give an intensity of the how much, from which week will be the intensity more? Because in OPP1 I did not perform very good, so I'm a bit underconfident for this OPP2.
Okay, so what you are asking is what is that?
If you could break down the intensity of the weeks, whether the
okay. So the weightage of every week. See, there is no weightage of a specific week. When we ask a question, if it involves some concept of, let's say, list, then all first 6 weeks will be there, because you require a loop, you require a conditional block, you require a list. So first 6 or a dictionary. I mean, then by default, first 6 weeks are always there in every question, no matter what you do. 7th is refresher, so let it be. 8th is recursion, and 9th is file handling.
Yes.
Right. So,
and one more thing, I'm having trouble like doing operation between. So, for example, in OPP1, there was a question, there was a tuple. Then after that, there was a list, and the list was under dictionary. Some kind of that. So I was having trouble doing arithmetic operations between the tuples.
Okay.
That to kind of extract the data from the tuple. So that's why I'm a bit underconfident for this OPP.
Okay. See, most of the questions in OPPs involved concepts across weeks. So I cannot say there will be a question based on a specific week. If there is a question, it involves concept across multiple weeks. Right?
Yeah,
so this providing this weightage is not possible, and it won't be fair. I mean, it won't be accurate, even though we try to compute something hypothetical. So it's better not to do that. And so the best practice is simply to practice all PPA, GRPS, and also week 12 problems. I mean, that is why we wanted to finish these week 12 live sessions before OPP. And that's why even live sessions are scheduled in that manner. So they will work as, as a mock towards OPP or something of that nature. Oh, I think Samyadeep, he left.
Yeah. Sorry, internet connection.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah. So try to solve all PPS, GRPS, and important is week 12 problems as well. Even though week 12 is not directly part of the syllabus, but all the questions of week 12 are based on the syllabus of OPP2. Right. So so consider this as a mock, like what we had right earlier. Some 13 problems we released as OPP1 mock. So consider week 12 as OPP2 mock.
Okay, so there will be no separate box for this OPP2.
No, there won't be, because I mean, now you know the process, right? There is nothing new about OPPs. You just give OPP few weeks back, no? So, and only new concept in this is recursion and file handling. So we thought we just give you more practice on those questions, which is anyway there. Just do practice on these 12 questions. That is why for this week 12 we have these 4 live coding sessions, rather than just one live coding and one open session. We thought let's discuss more on how to code, what not to code, and so on. So that's why these back-to-back 4 sessions are there to discuss these problems.
Okay. And one more thing, I was asking the other instructors that actually I couldn't get hold of you, but I was asking the other instructors that whether we can get the questions of the OPP.
OPP1, right? No, we do not release questions of OPPs.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so that's not possible.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
Sir, but at least we can discuss like those OPP questions. Like, I mean, we can get to understand that where we did a mistake or in the exam or like just.
See that, I mean, that's the actually thing. I mean, if you know the question and if you discuss the question, we don't mind. But formally, we won't be releasing those questions or any of your submissions. Like what we do, right? The answer keys is something what we do with MCQs, MSQs. That's not possible to do with programming questions. So it's like a closed question bank. So we don't release it.
So we'll have 4 questions this time, like last time.
Sorry? Yes, just like last time. This time also you will get 1.5 hour and 4 questions.
Sir, usually when we work
can we have bonus question?
No, there won't be any bonus question or anything. Just 1.5 hour and 4 questions. That's the pattern which we have followed for last few terms, and that will continue.
Sir, usually when we work out at home, we take more time for few questions and we solve them. But for exam, It took more time to just develop the logic and process it
Yeah,
out,
I
and the time
understand.
was so short.
So
Got
that's
into
why
pressure and messed up
this
the exam.
time practice is also important, right?
Yes, so I messed up the exam. I just wanted to know, will the OPP2 be a little more difficult than the first one? Like, in terms of the complexity of the question.
I think Sarah Second lost the question.
I think you should have to do the starters of Code Chef. That is 3 hours timed contest, which contains 8 problems. This will solve your the time problem.
Yeah, but I don't get time to work on that.
The Code Chef contest will happen every week. I think on Wednesday between 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Will the OPP2 be a little more tough than the OPP1?
Not really. I mean, we should not say more tough or something. Mostly on same lines. Only these added concepts will be there, right? Otherwise, it will be almost same.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. It won't be easier than that. That much I can tell you, but it won't be too difficult. Almost same level.
Sir, this time we don't get any bonus mark because in last term, sir, a bonus mark, sir. Actually, last time after quiz. Hello.
After yeah, Bishwajit, go ahead.
Yeah, after quiz one, sir, we got our bonus mark. Like we can see in our dashboard a bonus mark how much we can get. I mean,
Yeah.
we got, sir. So this time we didn't see any bonus mark.
Okay. So I think usually they will get added
at the last.
End.
Okay.
Oh, last time they computed earlier, huh?
Yeah, they have computed, like, for example, out of like 3.5, 1.5, if you get one, if you submitted everything, so they will they gave them 1.5 only. So these kind of marks they have counted and they have given after the quiz one, sir.
Okay. So after quiz 2, it's not yet done. That's what you're saying, no?
Even till now we haven't got any bonus mark. Like even quiz 2 also finished.
Okay, I mean, usually, I don't know, why they did last time after every quiz. Usually they are added at the end before computing the last grade. The last step they do before releasing result is adding of bonus marks. So it will happen. It might be towards the end, but it will happen. Okay. Operational thing is there, so I'm not exact was different last time, and it will happen, that's for sure. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
See you.
Somadeep was asking, sir, actually, do we have any like revision session like before OPP2, sir?
No, what revision is there? It's almost on same syllabus other than recursion and file handling, right? And we just now finished live session. That is why this week 12 consider this week 12 live, these 4 sessions as a revision sessions only. Do you see any new concept covered in these week 12 questions? They are all based on content of OPP2. Okay, so these 4 sessions are.
Sir, we have 2 classes, 2 more classes, sir.
Yes, 2 more are there. 2 more are there. One is on Thursday and next is on Saturday. Sunday is your exam, so Thursday and Saturday 2 more are there.
And that is when the remaining 8 questions will be discussed, 4 in each session.
Sir, okay, sir, just tell me one thing, that if I practice every up till week 9 and week 12, every practice assignment GRPS, then do I have a good chance of scoring a good marks?
Absolutely. If you practice all those well, you have a pretty good chance of scoring 100 out of 100.
Okay.
Okay.
PPR, GRPS,
And there's mock questions of OPP1 and week 12. I mean, whatever OPP programming questions are available, right?
Okay.
Yeah, based on the related syllables. Forget about those other weeks which you are not considering. But yeah, solve all programming questions, and as I said, you will have a pretty good chance of scoring full marks.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Actually,
If
sir,
not,
many people have messed up OPP one. So they have a query if they will score well in OPP two, is it going to be compensated? Is it going to have a chance to score well after giving after even score well in end-term examination? So
yes, so it is right, because that is the reason we have that specific two different formulas out there.
Yes.
Earlier it was not there, but we observed this particular thing that many people, being the first ever programming exam, that too online and so on, many people did a lot of mistakes in first and then adjusted and corrected those in second. So they should not be penalized for that one odd instance. So that is why that additional formula is put in place.
Yes. I mean, see, the thing is, I actually know that if I do all the practice assignments, that I have a good chance of this. But anyway, I wanted to hear it from you.
Yeah, definitely. It is, as I told you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So the mark distribution is equal for all the 4 questions.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Marks distribution is equal. It's 25% per question.
Okay.
That is how it was in OPP1, and same will be there in OPP2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thanks.
Sir, one question.
Okay, so if all these
Sir, one question
done, let
can I
me
ask?
just quickly give some things to that PP at 10. Yeah. Yes, you're saying something.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was asking that if some question was given on to, let's suppose, on recursion, and I am able to solve it by other logic, so will it be considered as the right answer, or it will be considered?
No, if it is explicitly mentioned that you are supposed to write a code using recursion, then the portal will force you to write a recursive code. Otherwise, if your code doesn't involve recursion, it will fail. Even though otherwise it's correct, we have implemented some internal hidden code is there which checks whether it is using recursion or not, which is there even in your weekly graded assignments, right?
Yeah, I saw that, and that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so same thing will be there in OPP as well. If it is explicitly mentioned that you are supposed to code using recursion, then you are supposed to code using recursion.
And sir, there is something called the head recursion and the tail recursion. So I think we are considering only the head recursion, right?
See, recursion is recursion. Doesn't matter which approach you use.
No, because I submitted one code for factorial using the tail recursion, and it didn't consider, and it was written that this was not a recursive code, something like that.
So it may not be recursive code, because see, the way we are testing it internally doesn't differentiate between these types. We just simply consider recursion as recursion, and if it gives the correct output, it gives the correct output. We accept.
Okay, so
The
it doesn't
implementation
matter
is
whether.
not.
Okay.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
So if you got that error, then there might be some mistake in the logical part. Not.
Sir, maybe I'll post that particular code on Discourse. Maybe.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thanks. Okay. So if that's done, let me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Sure.
sir. So
Thanks.
will you
Thanks,
take
everyone.
next class also, sir?